Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Sebastian Ryder, and you tapped into another episode of Cut Different TV. And today we about to turn this producer up. You know what I'm saying? We got a super dope guest in the building from Jersey. But before I introduce you to our guest today, make sure to hit that big red button that says subscribe under whatever screen you watching this on. And hopefully it's a TV screen because you tapped in with, you know what you tapped in with. We got Melody Arkitecht in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's good with you, brother?
What's going on, man?
And I'm blessed.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, blessed and grateful, bro, always. We here to turn you up, though. But you already been turned up. Let's talk about it. How was that show? How was the experience? You know what I'm saying? And this vision that you've had for yourself as a producer for so long, for that to kind of come to fruition and you get your flowers, you know what I'm saying, along the journey. How was that for you?
I feel like I've got the flowers, and I feel like I won. I feel like actually realizing that it happened, but I still feel like nothing has changed in a sense, because it's like I kind of been around that whole like atmosphere the whole time. So now it's like I'm getting recognition like social media wise and more career wise. Like I've always been like around like certain circles as like the underdog, or I've always been the type of person where it's like I'm a type of person, like I'm really down to earth person. So I have like you know, I'm like a dude with a good heart. You know, I don't judge nothing like that. I'm chilling. Like I accept anybody. Like humility. You know what I'm saying? So I realize like now it's like in a way like, because of my credentials and I want to turn your producer up, people start taking me more seriously than before. When it's like when I was trying to reach out and actually work on business, they wasn't jacking it because you know, there's the ego and all this shit, you know. So
And how do you respond in situations like that where, all right, cool, I'm still the same guy. I've always had this same approach, always led with the golden rule, but now, because you done see me on this show and you done heard me get feedback from these well-known producers, now you want to work. How do you respond and how do you deal with situations like that?
I'm very patient. I'm a firm believer in patience is virtue. So like there's this favorite like Lil Wayne quote of mine that's like, gangsters move in silence like lasagna. So like basically like I'm always been like behind the scenes, you know, like I graduated audio school. And when you're an engineer or assistant engineer or even like a studio intern, you're really like a behind the scenes person. So I've always had that position. So I'm just used to it. So now it's just like I'm ready to like work. Like I'm ready to just like work on stuff to the point where like you see a post and like, oh, how he did that? Like I did that. Just don't worry, I did it.
Yeah. And so it sounds like going to audio school and getting your stripes in that regard kind of taught you how to wear all the different hats across production. Yeah. So what perspective would you give, what perspective would you give to up and coming producers, engineers even, that are used to kind of being behind the scenes and they feel like they don't necessarily have their moment until they get that spotlight shined on them?
Don't stop. Don't stop at all, because the thing is like sometimes you don't have your spotlights because you're not in with, sometimes it's like you're like the outsider in a sense, like you're not into what's in tune, you're not into what's hot. Just keep on doing your thing. As long as that frequency reaches a room, as long as somebody hear that, you're going to get that moment. Like I learned as a studio intern, there's this moment, I forgot what it's called, I can't think of it right now, but there's this moment where it's like, let's say you're in a room and it's an emergency situation where you have to like track vocals, or you have to do something engineering wise that brings you out of your pocket as an intern into an actual engineer. And when you get that moment, next you know, you got like a big cosign around your environment. Like, oh, he actually does this, actually does that. And then now you're slowly moving up the ladder in your position in the audio world. So what I'm saying is like, long story short, don't give up, because any moment can be yours. You got to stay 10 toes no matter what.
Damn, I appreciate the game you giving right now. And I hope you're appreciating it too. Hit that big red button that says subscribe. Drop a like on the video. It really goes a long way. We got Melody Arkitecht in the building. And talk about your earlier days producing, engineering. You know, you went to audio school, but were you making music before that? Or?
Yeah. As a teenager, I started like producing at like 17, 18. And it was just like trial and error, and it was just for fun. I didn't start taking it seriously until I ran into well, his name is Yassine Bey now, but you know, AKA Mos Def. I ran into Mos Def when I was like 18 years old, going to work. It's a fast food restaurant. I'm not gonna say the name. I was working at a cashier as a fast food restaurant, and I came across him. And I was like, "Hey man, like I had like an old like ass like iPad back in the day, like some if like remember I don't know if you know the company Kobe headphones. That's that. If y'all from the hood, y'all know about the bodegas, the Kobe headphones. Anyhow, so yeah, so like basically I played him like 6 beats or whatever. He said, "Let me listen to it again," and then he was like, hit my manager up, and then at the time his manager was his mom. Shout out to Yumi. His manager was his mom at the time. And then like I just got so like excited and obsessed with that fact that I kind of I kind of annoyed her because like at the time I was going to Lincoln Tech for auto mechanics because like I still have like a little love for cars. I'm a little bit of a grease monkey, so yeah. So like I dropped out of Lincoln Tech to like really go harder on production and beats and shit because like I was just like thinking about that in class, just like calling like Mos Def's mom all day, and then she was just like, "Stop calling me." She was like, "Nobody calls him like you calling him that." I'm like it's crazy, but yeah. So and then what can I say? And then like that's like during like that same year, I ran into this like representative from Capitol Records, and then like he showed me around like industry environment stuff at a young age, and he told me, "Oh, play some beats for me," and then that same representative A&R from Capitol Records, he introduced me to Jock Quay. So shout out to Jock Quay from Love and Hip Hop. That's my boy. Like we made each other when we was 19 years old, and from there, like it just started expanding. Like all this, like I've been always around music shit. Like from then, and then, like even as like in my basement, and I mean not in my basement, in my room, in my house, I had like a shitty ass setup. I just love music so much that's like I wanted to make a studio when I didn't know what a studio was at the time. You know, because I'm 18 years old. You know, like so basically, like I had like this weird sound high definition sound system, like you know the home theater high definition sound systems, like the consumer ones. I had that jacky ass set up in my bedroom, bro, and then the auxiliary cord to my laptop, and that was it. That was my setup. That was my first setup ever, bro.
Oh wow.
And who also inspired me about music too was my pops. May he rest in peace. My pops was deaf mute, so my parents are also deaf. My mom's deaf, and my pops is deaf mute. So, like,
oh wow.
My pops, like even growing up, like he's always a huge ass hip hop head, like always collecting Source magazines, Double XL, and I'm in the crib listening to Get Rich or Die Trying on cassette. He like Mary J. Blige was the 411, High Five,
So
Casey and Jodeci. Like,
so how did this? If this is ignorant, I'm sorry, but if he was deaf, and mute, how was he able to listen to the?
He felt it through vibration.
What?
Yeah, that's a real thing. Like he felt it through vibration,
and then read about it to like add.
Like he just like he like from what I remember, like he like at a certain time, like back in the day, he used to b-boy. He always knew the electric slide. Like he felt vibration.
So that 808, that bass drum,
bass line. Like I remember like how can I say, like I remember like sitting down as a kid, like being under him, like being like a daddy's boy or whatever, and then listening to "In My Hood" by 50 Cent, like niggas screw your face up at me on some real shit. Well, you don't want me. I'll count that and that shit out the window. Like, I grew up to that shit. My pops is playing that shit. Like y'all niggas better slay down. You know, like yeah. I'm like yeah. So I was always around that. And then on top of that, like, and like the deaf culture. In deaf culture, there's like always like, you know, some like friend parties and stuff like that. So long story short, when I was younger, a couple of my parties as a kid, a couple of my sister's parties as a kid, it would just be like this huge ass house party with a whole bunch of like deaf people speaking sign language and stuff. So like long story short, like my pops was always like throwing the best house parties, and then my grandma was just like cooking food for everybody, and it was just like be like this. Like I remember, like it's kind of funny, but I mean, pops rest in peace. But there was this one time when he decided to pull out the speakers and put it in the backyard of the crib. And it was a total skit. It was a skit from the female band Total. Like if you know about your history, Total, Sign the Bad Boy, Total. And it was a explicit ass skit where Shorty locked herself in the bathroom. My pop's knocking the door and she's playing with herself. And my pops is deaf, so he's like saying in sign language, nah, this is Puff Daddy. Like this is a fire ass CD. That's Puff Daddy. And then my grandma, may she rest in peace, my grandma's trying to tell him in sign language, turn that shit off. It's moaning and all that. You got kids around here. It's your son's birthday party. Like so it's like basically long story short, like my pops is always into music, like always into hip hop stuff. You know what I'm saying? So,
wow. And then so do you think that that's a fire ass story, by the way, bro. I appreciate you sharing that with us, and RIP to Pops. That's super interesting to me. The him being able to feel and resonate through music, through the vibrations.
Like even like one last thing about
go ahead.
Pops was so much into hip hop that like I got home from school one day and I was playing basketball in my backyard, and he just dragged me from my friends. He said, "Get in the car." I get in his car. Boom, is songs playing in his car, and he drives me to a Joe Budden's video shoot. The song that he did with Busta Rhymes. And he drives me there because like he's like excited about the video shoot. He's like, I don't care what you're doing, you're not gonna eat, like you're coming with me to this video shoot. Like he's like that passionate about hip hop.
Wow, that's insane, bro. I rock with that. So, do you think that that's why you got into the like production side of things, because you knew it wasn't really about the lyrics?
Like I was in a household where it's like my parents is deaf, right? But then my family's from Panama and I'm half Jamaican. So it was a 2-family house that my grandma owned. Like still to this day, it's a 2-family house. So one side is just like mad quiet and it's like closed captions, right? But then the other side is like bachata, merengue.
Closed captions?
Reggae. Yeah, closed captions. Like closed captions is like the
like reading.
Like the CC on the TV. Like when my parents, like on my parents' side, it's just quiet. Sometimes it's quiet as shit, and it's like,
and they're just reading.
They're just
what's on the screen.
Off of it. Yeah, that's like no sound. But
then the other side is everybody jump.
Like, yes.
Wow, bro.
Yeah. That's how it was. That's literally how it was. So it's like
interesting.
So it's like basically I've always grew up to different sounds like reggae and Spanish, salsa, reggaeton, like. You know, what was it? My Flow Dos. I grew up to all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is like,
you probably could read like a motherfucker too.
What do you mean?
You could probably read really well too. You had to read a lot.
Yeah. English class is my shit. Yeah.
You sitting in front of that TV, you gonna read them closed captions.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
I rock with that, bro. Yeah. That's fire, man. So you had a lot of different sound influences, and when I was watching the show, they were complimenting your, range and ability, right, to produce different sounds that we're not used to hearing.
Yeah, because me, I, for some reason, I've always been late to like understanding lyrics and music. So like I've always felt more like emotionally comfortable to listening to sounds more. I think it's because of my parents or something, but I always like appreciated sounds. And then it's like I used to feel sounds. I didn't understand why. And then once I got to audio engineering school and I understand the frequency spectrum, the science of sound, I started understanding like music way more. Like I started feeling music way more, like in terms of like what genre is this, what BPM is that. Like it started hitting me way more like that.
So to kind of bring it closer to today, so clearly you have a super strong foundation in music, beat making, understanding the science of sound. I feel like a lot of people don't have that. A lot of producers probably don't have that. Sound engineers probably. So then you get the opportunity. Where does the opportunity come about for you to get this show done? Because this was what y'all shot over a year ago.
This is the show was shot like literally like last December. The show was shot last December, but it was like
so like not too long.
But the reason how I got in it was because, randomly somebody put me on the list to compete in a beat battle for On the Radar at Republic Records, and this was like sometime last summer or something like that. I can't remember. So, I played my beats. I didn't make it to the second round, but I played my beats. Shout out to Dizzy Banco. Dizzy Banco was there. He was judging. Shout out to Fritz. Fritz was judging. And of course, Gabe. I don't know. I can't remember anybody else. But yeah, they were judging there. And when I came off the stage and to the crowd, there was Q. I didn't know who he was at first. He was like, yo, my name is Q. And then you know how I am. I have a good heart. I'm just accepting. So I'm just like, yo, like, what's up, Q? What you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm chilling. I'm like, my name Mello. Like, that was my beats and stuff. So he was like, I'm a Boogie's manager. And I was like, oh, word? I was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah, take my number down. Like stay in touch, whatever. So he liked that. So from then, he had like what's her name? I can't remember what it was. I think he had like a competition or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had like a competition. And I entered that competition, but then I had a family emergency, so I had to leave early. And that was at Invite Only Studios.
Mm.
But then I still kept in touch with him. And then I saw he's like doing like this this other thing called Turn Your Producer Up or something like that. And I was like, I texted him like, yo, what's the details with that? Like he was like, you want to get in it? I was like, yeah, I wouldn't mind. He's like, you're in it. I was like, oh, okay, bet. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, as qualifications, certain beats you had to submit and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? So I just try to put my best, just try to put my shit out. And then every round it was just like, it was crazy. Every round it was just like, it's like I'm like the underdog in the rounds. I'm just thinking to myself like, I heard that, so it's like I'm playing chess in my head. Like I heard that, so I'm gonna play that. I heard that, I'm gonna play that. I heard that, I'm gonna play that.
Yeah. And I feel like when I watched the show too, like you definitely told your story, but I also feel like you're more humble, right? Like you're more of an introverted kind of individual.
Yeah, because the thing is like me being a former studio intern. Shout out Penthouse, shout out Engine Room. You know what I'm saying? Those are spots I used to intern at. But like being a studio like intern, like I've learned how to be introverted because it's like you can't like fan out. You can't like, you know, it's like I've learned in a really deep way, like with all things going on through my life too. Like I'm a 2-time leukemia survivor too. So 420 was my 9-year anniversary. I'm in remission now, like 9 years.
Wow, bro.
So like Blessings. I've learned like, you know, sometimes when nobody is not watching, you still winning.
Facts. Respect to you, bro. Respect to you. Man, we on Cut Different TV. We got Melody Arkitecht in the building. Turn Your Producer Up, Season 1, winner, champion, whatever you want to say. Survivor, perseverer, you know what I'm saying? And perseverer, that was crazy. That's not a word. Is that a word? Hell no. Nah. You probably know.
I mean, you can make it a word if you want to.
Perseverer. I guess. Is that a word, Vic? Perseverer? Nah. He said, hell nah. It's a word now, damn it. But yeah, man, I mean, it's a blessing to have you on, Mel. And you had Cut Different TV, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I know you all turned up now, and I know you got, you know, all these flowers and all these beats spinning in the ecosphere. But what I really want to know is one thing. What makes you cut different, Melody Arkitecht?
What makes me cut different is that I'm never gonna stop learning, no matter what year it is, and I'm gonna go with my gut always. Like I'm gonna just move with my heart instead of my mind, gangster.
Easy enough. Yo, I rock with this dude, man. Go tap in with Melody Arkitecht. What you got? Like, I know what producing is different, right? So it's not like, oh, I guess some producers like, oh, go to my Spotify, go to my. How can they find you? How can they listen to the work that you're putting out right now?
So I got some work that's on the way in development. Like, but right now, what I got out now is shout out Bonita. That's my gang. You know what I'm saying? Bonita, I got Menace. Got that out right now. Shout out to Alon. I got PB&J. That's a whole like collaboration project. I produced 90% of that project. I'm not gonna lie, there's a little bit list of stuff I got out right now. So it's like you just gonna have to like go to my Instagram, like link in my bio, man. Like I got my beat tape out. My beat tape out from last year. Shout out to Ears Entertainment, Full of Melodies Volume 1 on Rock Nation Distribution. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, I got a couple things out. Shout out to Lil Fairy. We got Shitting Me out right now, co-produced by my man Absent. Shout out Saint C. Got Scuff My Lavin.
You got some shit.
Yeah, man. Just link in the bio, man. And I might have my first placement on the way too. So I don't know. Y'all gotta keep posted for that. Might be my first placement on the way.
It's already here.
B Tape 2 is on the way too. Shout out 24 Nero out of Chicago. We got the Tough one coming out soon. Co-produced by 1996 Beats. Damn, I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's just like I'll just be little collabs here and there, man. It's a lot.
You in New York, man, and you gotta be working. We've talked to a couple artists recently, and they've just been like, "Yo, I got 1,000 songs in the tuck. I got 2,000 songs in the tuck. How many beats you got?"
My bad. I just remembered. I randomly dropped because I'm from Jersey. I'm raised in Jersey City, so I randomly dropped on Deuces Jersey Club out on SoundCloud on my SoundCloud. So yeah, run that up. Listen to that Deuces.
How many beats you got, man?
Man, throughout all the years, man, sometimes I can't keep up because it's like either my MacBook will crash out or like my external hard drive would stop working. So I want to say now, I want to say I've definitely been like 600. Some producers be OD, like I'm not gonna lie. Like some producers be like, I'm at 1,000, I'm at 2,000. No, I'm like probably like 600 now, maybe. 700.
And so if somebody wants a mellow beat, what, they just hit you on the gram or what? How they get in touch with you? We got a lot of artists that watch the show.
You could hit me on the gram or you could hit my PR, Ayers Harris. You know what I'm saying? But his Instagram is in my bio. So yeah, man. That's it, man. And also I'm a firm believer in chemistry. Like I like nostalgia, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the shit that I grew up on is what I try to bring into myself every time I make a beat.
Hell yeah.
So it's like for some reason, like I don't want to be biased to certain things, but I go with my gut. I go with the flow. I like to sound like I like to listen to and make what I'm influenced by all the time. So I don't change myself. So I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like it gets real deep, but yeah.
I feel that. So if you were an artist and you trying to get some beats from Melody Arkitecht, shoot him a DM, hit his PR. You know what I'm saying? You got plenty of them. He got 600 of them, but he is a big believer in chemistry. So if you don't vibe, you don't vibe. Don't try to force it. You know what I'm saying?
Don't try to force it.
Did I tell him the right way?
Yeah.
Word. Anything else you want to let him know? I fuck with the Gucci hat. I ain't seen one of those in a minute.
Man. Yeah, man. I like it. Like
I used to have a Gucci hat like that.
You know the thing with me is it's like, so, like, how can I say? I grew up very introverted and stuff, but then part of me is emo, right? But then I'm also from the hood. So, like, my big influence is, like, trap.
Okay.
I like trap a lot. Like, it's weird because it's like I was born in Brooklyn, but trap is my shit.
Okay.
So, so the next sounds you're gonna hear is a lot of like, you know what I'm saying, like rager, a little trappy, distorted bass, crazy melodies and stuff. What was I gonna say? Yeah, Bonita, shout out Bonita. Her EP is gonna be on the way this summer. I'm working on her EP, developing her EP, and then last but not least, shout out Digital Nas. I ran into him recently. You know what I'm saying? He heard my beats. Salute to you, Digital Nas. You know what I'm saying? So, yep, that's it.
Sound like you got a lot of dope shit on the way, man. Super, super grateful and blessed to have you on Cut Different today. Much success to you. Much blessings. Prayers to you, man. Congrats on remission. 2 years in remission. That's a beautiful thing.
9 years.
Whoa. 9.
9, yeah.
420 was 9 years?
Yeah. It's like, it was... I mean, like, at certain times, I was trying to make beats in a hospital bed. I don't know what the fuck I was making, but I was just inspired, bro. I just inspired as shit, like, making beats just lifting me up, listening to Take Care, like, religiously every damn day, because it's like, when I caught leukemia, I was turning 21, so I couldn't react to like being a crazy like. So I'm not gonna lie, these past couple of years I've been partying like crazy, but that shit gonna stop.
You gotta
like,
make up for it.
I had to make up for something. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like, shout out to all the DJs I fuck with me and all that. I love like pulling up to mixes, like dancing and shit and all that. But but honestly, like 9 years and 9 years remission now.
Man, blessings to you, bro. Blessings to you. Great perseverance. Keep pushing through, man. Congrats on winning Turn Your Producer Up. Thank you for being here today, man. And with that being said, y'all done tapped into another episode of Cut Different TV. I go by the name of Sebastian Ryder. I'm here with the one and only
Melody Arkitecht.
And shit, we'll catch y'all next time. Hit that big red button that says subscribe, quit bullshitting, and tell a friend something nice today. I got that from Pat McAfee. Tell a friend something nice today. It might change their life. I like your Gucci hat.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Peace out, y'all.